I grew up in Lafayette Gardens projects. Everybody's dad or mom worked for the city. My dad was a bus driver. Everybody had a dad and a mom. A culturally rich group of individuals with a set of standards in terms of behavior. While I lived in a majority black neighborhood, I went to school in a majority white neighborhood. My mom had very high standards for us academically, and we were considered really smart. And sadly, they did not have the level of curriculum in the black schools at that time to handle, the smarts that we had. We were accepted on many levels by our peers, our students, and not so accepted on many levels by the faculties. I recall distinctively having an issue with my 6th grade teacher. She accused me of plagiarizing someone else's writing in the class. It was actually a white young man that I copied from his paper. And it was a traumatic experience for me because I love to write and I always had an imagination, and she just couldn't fathom that this could have sprang from my own mindset. So that was a little bit rocky. I was very fortunate to be raised in a household where my mom taught us a great deep sense of pride. This is her main thing. Look, anybody that's speaking to you, look them in the eye. Do not speak with your head down. Be proud and say what you have to say. We were raised to be very proud young women. My first exposure to music was through my Aunt Sadie. She took me to my first concert when I was probably around 6 or 7 years old. A friend of hers gave a recital. This woman, Miss Adelaide, was in a blue sparkled gown with her hair perfectly done, and she started singing, and I just, was in awe and decided that's what I want to do. My dad and mom had beautiful voices. They listened to Ella Fitzgerald, Arthur Prysock. My dad loved B.B. King, blues. So we had a kind of well-rounded exposure to various genres of music. When we formed Skyy, our focus was more on developing this band thing. We were really completely unaware of what was going on the hip hop scene. We were just making live music. We went from touring with Kool and the Gang, Ohio Players, all of these major bands, to the bands becoming, and this was my word that I came to use, we all became dinosaurs. And this hip hop movement with these guys with these turntables all of a sudden replacing, 8 musicians. In the beginning, it was a little bit of a hurtful thing because you started to see the demise of record deals. Like, our deals were no longer picked up because of this rising art form. We felt it replaced us, and we didn't recognize that they were really doing an homage to us. Now that I have an appreciation for these hip hop artists, I see what that was now in retrospect. But I didn't see it then, I have to be honest. Hip hop to me is completely different. It gets down to day-to-day living, the good, the bad, the ugly. We didn't get as deep as I think a lot of hip hop music. As they say that expression, they keep it real, 100, they keep it 100. Because we grew up in an era of propriety, some things you just don't talk about in public. Now, I have to turn off half the stuff that I hear, even on the radio. The deterioration of the family structure because of economic conditions. You now have a lot of broken family homes. You have a serious drug culture going on. People don't have jobs. Economically, people are suffering. That's going to have a direct effect on what comes out of the community artistically. And this is the thing that I want to try and translate to young people now. While you're keeping it 100, while you're keeping it real, you're missing out on some of the things that are going to be building blocks for your success.